Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Let's Develop. I'm Chris Woolley, and I'm your host for our program tonight, and we are talking marketing today. Hands-on marketing, actually, which is going to be a lot of fun. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. This is a bi-weekly webinar series brought to you by American Color Imaging. So thanks, ACI. And basically what we do is we connect with awesome photographers, and we just chat about things that photographers care about. Today, it's going to be marketing, which is a lot of fun. If this is your first time joining us, this is a live webinar, which means that you can ask questions, which is a lot of fun. So if you do have questions, comments, anything like that, put them into chat and we can ask Aly live. We can talk about them. So we get that interaction factor going on, which is a lot of fun. If you happen to miss the last episode, we had Angela on, and we were talking about how to become a photographic pet whisperer. So that is live right now on ACI's website, acilab.com/let's-develop. So make sure you check that one out. And be sure to stay to the end because we do have some specials and prizes and stuff to give away. But let's dive into our content. And we've got Aly here. Her picture's up live, so she can say hi to all of us. And
Hi.
she's pretty awesome. So she's been in the industry over 15 years. She's got degrees in fine art and marketing. She's a CPP, master photographer, photographic craftsman. Last year, she was a double GIA finalist, which is crazy impressive. She's also certified in the family, baby, newborn, maternity, and child categories in NAPCP. And she's a member of ASP, Associate Photographer, Portrait Master. You got like way too long of a list of accolades. You're just pretty awesome all around. Exhibiting artist from all over the world, 29 countries. I think, wow, that's just impressive. You got some cool stuff to share with us. So I'm very much looking forward to talking marketing today. So what do you got for us?
Oh, thank you. What a cool intro. I appreciate that. I sound cool.
Yeah, right? Be like, here's the 29.
Well, okay. First of all, will I be able to see the questions as they come in?
No, I'll be moderating the questions.
Okay,
so if people
awesome.
do have questions, they'll type them into chat and I'll read them out loud. Unfortunately, you
Sounds
just get to look at
good.
my face.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited. Marketing is one of the things that I am crazy passionate about. And I kind of live my whole life by going all in. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it 100%. And marketing is no different. And I've got 5 kind of burst marketing tactics that you can dive into today. January is a more quiet time, and we slowed down from the rush of the holidays, from the rush of fall family pictures and all that good stuff. And it's, of course, the fresh start of the new year. So it gives us a chance to reevaluate our brands and our marketing plan. And number one, have a marketing plan. I know. That's when everybody stops making eye contact with me and and just like they find something else to do. So for the people who are here, I would love to know if you have struggled with marketing, if you love marketing, if you found something that really works, then that is part of your foundational marketing. But I would love to know if you have specific questions about marketing, lay them on us and we'll get them answered today as best we can. We're gonna answer them all.
So let's put into chat. First off, what's your comfort level with marketing? So do you absolutely love it? Do you hate it? We got David here that's struggling. Yogi struggling all the time with marketing. So put into chat how you're feeling about marketing, and then we can get some of those questions being put in there too.
And with that question, is this a family friendly? When we're asking how you feel about marketing,
right?
What level can we go to here? Because I've heard some strong feelings.
Yeah, Michael, plenty of people need more education on this. Yogi doesn't like it. Yet he's struggling. Tammy, help. Carolyn, always struggling. Susan, need help, especially seniors. Bruce has a love-hate relationship with it. I think we've got a little bit of a theme here.
Yes, I like that. Tell me how you feel about my help. Just help.
Yeah, there's too many avenues. Amy's struggling.
So marketing, boiled down to it, it becomes this big daunting thing when we think about it, but it's really just connection. Marketing is just connecting to your audience, finding where they're at and being there, and your brand being there. And I could go on about this for a long time, but I won't. I'm going to give you a handful of easily produced tangible marketing and the start of your marketing plan, not the whole thing. Your whole marketing plan can't be occasionally posting on social media. I know, I'm sorry,
Facebook post
but it
doesn't do
just
it.
can't be. Yeah, you're like, I look what I did today. Hey, good job. Keep doing that, but do it with intention and purpose, and it will be much more efficient and much less frustrating. So break down how you're feeling about marketing first of all, and just recognize that it's just a connection. My first tip is tangibles. We used to get big stacks of junk mail, and we'd have to sift through it. That doesn't happen anymore. There are days we open the mailbox and there's nothing in there, or it's a bill. And that's not fun. So fill that void for your clients, and send them
Are
something.
you talking about like physical pieces that you're actually getting in the mail?
Yes,
Something you can open up, like a brochure or a postcard, something that's got some
absolutely.
interaction to it. So not just
Yes.
an email or a social blast, but
No,
in real
no,
life.
because
Yeah.
that's where the junk mail is now. The junk mail is in digital marketing, is in your spam folder, in your promotion folder, in your inbox. And it's not going to get the kind of attention that you need to get a client to trust you. So it doesn't have to be, it can be a beautiful magazine. I've got, hang on here. These
Are
are the
you?
magazines that I sent out.
Oh
These are
wow.
Graphy Studio, and I send these out biannually. And that's one of the more pricey marketing techniques. But I send those to my tier one clients, the clients that I've worked with, that I want to work with again, that are valued to me. And then when I can broaden my base a little bit and send out brochures or postcards, then I can send that to more people, whether I have direct contact with them yet or not. That's a little more cold calling, but it's someone that I've had a connection within the ripple that I've put into the pond. So there are different levels of tangible marketing, but give them something that they can flip through, something that they can look at, and better yet, something send to your clients, something that they're in, because they will want to share that. This is the client image, and they are one of my favorite clients because they love to share their pictures. And within the magazine are little referral cards, and I don't ever specify what, I don't have a referral program, but when somebody comes and says, "Oh, they were sent by, the Smith," then I'm going to spoil the Smiths because they're doing my job for me and making that connection for me. And if you've learned anything about marketing, you'll have heard of the 7 steps, the 7 rule of 7. I don't think it has a name.
The 7
Clearly,
touch
I don't
points.
know the
The
name.
touch points.
What's that?
The number of touch points that's needed.
Yeah, it's the number of connections to before a consumer will trust you, they need to see your brand 7 times. So when you have a personal connection like that, like a referral, that allows you to skip a few of those and get that level of trust that they need to be able to trust you with their money. Let's get right down to it with
We
their
like
money.
money. We like money.
Yes, I love it.
So what's in your
Because it
magazine?
enables me to make this my actual job. And don't you just do that every once in a while? You're like, this is my real job.
Is
That's
this
so
real life?
cool. Yes, it is. It's glorious.
So what sort of content is in your magazine that's going out to your tier 1 clients?
So, okay, so I do this biannually, and one is summer, is spring and summer. This one is fall and winter. So in this one, this gives me a chance to all you PPA people. Wait, which way am I?
There we go.
There's like a lag, so
Yeah,
I'm not good at this.
right there.
So it gives me a chance to not only tell them about awards that I've won, but explain why that's a big deal. And it gives them kind of bragging rights. Like, that's my photographer. That's my daughter whose image won an award. And it gives them something that they can show and share, and it activates the grandmas. And the grandmas are the key to everything. The grandmas hold the key. So when you get an excited grandmother with pictures of her grandkids, forget about it. That is your marketing plan now. So it just gives ideas. So there's fall portraits. Um, there's winter portraits. It just is basically a living portfolio that changes every year. It does push my Santa sessions. They will get this when Santa is sold out. And that will add this veil of excitement and mystery and make sure that they book it immediately when it opens up the next year. So it's generating excitement going forward, and it's giving them ideas for things that I can do for them. It's got a little studio tour in there. And it also, I have used this to talk about composite work and storytelling. That's what I really love to create for my clients. And this is an avenue that I can explain to them how that works, and generate that that's even possible. A lot of clients wouldn't even think about. They just think you go, Olin Mills and sit on the big number for your senior picture, and that's all there is. So it opens up a whole world of opportunity and of ideas and brainstorming, and just at least maybe brings them in and we can chat. And that's all I need. I just need to be able to make that extra connection and chat with them.
So you're not necessarily like selling in the magazine. It's more
No.
inspiration, spark some interest, and you're staying classy
Yes.
with it and not being salesy.
Yes. It's like Vogue, basically.
Look how fabulous you can look. You too can be in print.
Yes, exactly.
Way better
and
than
there
being
are
an
a
Instagram
huge,
post.
yeah, there are a huge number of people that I had several clients this year post this on Instagram and tag me in it, and their family wasn't even in it. They were just proud to say, this is our photographer and this is who takes our family pictures, and we're so excited to see what she's doing. And that word of mouth, it just generates that word of mouth, which is the number one kind of marketing that you can do, is word of mouth, is face to face, is that connection that people want out of the services that they are valuing.
Sure. Where are you getting your magazines printed at?
So these are from Graphy Studio, and they shut off magazine printing for a while. It's back and it's beautiful, but I like them because they're real picky. I'm going to lean this way now. They're real picky about their image quality. And it takes a little longer, but they can go real thick too. And I would love one of these days just have a real thick magazine. But I also take these around town too. So these go out to my tier 1 clients, but they go to hair salons, nail salons, baby boutiques. The OBs like these better than I used to bring a big album to the OBs for the moms to look through in the waiting room. Since COVID, it's easier to send these home, and then they don't have to worry about cleaning them and germs and all that good stuff. I would rather them take them home anyway. So I make sure they have a nice fat stack of magazines to take.
Yeah. Do you have a question about other printing places? Just a little plug with ACI. They do magazine printing as well. I've got other people that saying Costco or Shutterfly might be able to do something like that. So options, find something that works for your brand, I think is probably the most important thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's one thing. And I'm not going to go into this, but it comes up in every conversation I have, photography related or not. Define your brand. And that's one of the things that I'm going to be talking about in my pre-con class this Saturday. If you're coming, yay! And we will really dive in deep and define your brand so that you know what you're telling other people it is.
You just but those tangibles. What is your pre-con class?
My pre-con class is 2 to 5 on Saturday, and it is it's called Marketing to Grab Loyalty and Attention, and it's going to be a blast. We have a game show segment. Yeah, I know. Aren't you enticed? Come to it.
That sounds like a great way to build some loyalty.
It's going to be so much fun. And that's what it should be. Marketing should be. I genuinely, this sounds like an absolute crock, but I genuinely love every part of this business. Truly. Shooting, editing, marketing, yes, except for taxes. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
That somebody else can do
Hire an
that.
accountant. They're worth it.
Happy January. That's right. I'll farm that out.
I do have a couple
But
more questions that are coming through too.
oh, okay.
So Yogi wants to know if you're mailing this to your past clients, or just leaving them in stores, or is there some sort of call to action in there? What's happening with the magazines?
So the only call to action really is that on the bottom of each page, I have my website, my phone number, my studio address. And the other would be the referral. So the call to action really is to share this. But what it does is excites the client and they contact me. I will do a follow up too with my tier one clients about 2 weeks after the magazine, make sure they got it, see if they're ready to book, if they have any questions about it, that kind of thing. So it's basically a welcome packet for old clients. Like, I'm still welcoming you. You're still welcome here. Come back and let me spoil you a little bit. And as far as who it goes to, it does go to my tier one clients. If I have one that I'm really excited about and it feels financially reasonable, I will go tier two as well, but that's a pretty big pool. So I send it to people that I feel like it's going to activate.
Okay. Do you have any other tangible things that you're mailing out, or is it just the magazine?
I do. Postcards are a big one. And I use Move for my postcards. There are tons of places. I've used Vistaprint before in the past and they've done a great job. But postcards are huge. That was the first marketing technique that I used. It was a place called, actually, I don't remember what it was called. They're not in business anymore, but it was this little flip book of postcards of 20 postcards for $40. And each one could be a different image. So very haphazardly, I slapped 40 different client or 20 different client images on there, mailed them out within 2 weeks. 19 of the 20 booked. And out of that, I made about $60,000. And this was 12 years ago.
Wow.
And I thought, jackpot. I never have to do any other marketing again as long as I live because I found the mothership of marketing. And I got really excited and I ordered a second packet of books, but I got a little lazy this time and I just did fall pictures. It wasn't individualized to each client. And I sent them to the next set of clients that I felt like I wanted to reconnect with. And it was still successful. I still booked 14 out of the 20 and I made a significant amount of money, not what I made on the first one. But if I had done that one first, I would have thought that was the jackpot and I wouldn't have ever personalized them. So people like pictures of themselves and their children. Lesson learned. So I have to factor in the design time, which wasn't much. It was just a matter of choosing the image. And for a lot of them, I would choose an image that I love from their session that they didn't print. So it was new and exciting and they got to see that picture again. And it reminded them of what they left behind. So, there are several layers to that process, but I do the postcards twice a year. They go out to everybody on my list. And I have a fair amount of my returning clientele that rely on those as reminders, kind of like the card you get from the dentist, but more fun.
Because it's got your picture on it.
That's right. It's your picture. So those go out. And then business cards everywhere. Make it rain business cards. Anybody that is standing still for 2 seconds, business card.
Do you
Ticker
use
tape
mailing
parade.
lists at all? Or are you doing any cold mailings, or is it all clients and
I
previous
don't.
clients?
I rely on, I would rather ripple out from the clients that I have and get their input than kind of cold call anybody. Now, if I were brand new, I might consider it if I had the right list. But I've established enough that I'm in the neighborhoods I want to be in. I'm in the kind of cliques. Those are still a thing as a grown up that I want to be in. And I focus all of my efforts on those. The only kind of cold calling kind of thing would be in businesses. So that doesn't really count. I'm still getting the attention of people that want to be found.
How would you use, or any ideas for how you might use these mailings for high school seniors, since you haven't previously worked with
Um,
them?
yes. So interesting. I went through this cycle at the beginning of my career where I think we start out with this thing where we'll take any genre that you need photographed. That is my specialty for the day. If you will pay me for it, that is what I shoot. And then you kind of overcorrect and you get down into this very narrow niche and you're like, this is what my business is now. And I'm not going to do anything outside of it. And then you relax a little and maybe try something new. And my relax a little and try something new was seniors. I was nervous about them. Teenagers made me nervous before I had them as my own children. Turns out they're fun. Who knew? And so that was a brand new genre that I hadn't shot up until probably 4 or 5 years ago. And that was actually one of my Grand Imaging Award nominations last year with seniors. And here I had been wasting all this time not photographing them. But part of finding seniors is getting into their booklets. The senior schools around here have booklets for everything, every sport, every band concert, every, I don't even know where, but I'm incessantly getting these, getting approached. And I think because I have a physical studio, I'm getting approached by places to put ads in the senior yearbooks and pamphlets and flyers and brochures. And I do it every time because, the payout's been big. And I started out when I first took my first handful of seniors, it's because my clients' kids were getting older. And I wanted to continue serving the clients that had been so good to me, even if it was a genre that I wasn't comfortable with. And it turned out it was a lot of fun. So it was a win-win-win. But definitely go where they are. Go into, there's a juice place across from the studio that I'm too old to go in because the chairs hang from the ceiling.
It's very trendy.
That's not for my demographic. But we're a university town, so there is a huge demographic of teenagers, and just kind of go where they'll go. I mean, you don't have to go like like you've seen the meme, like "Hello, fellow students," like I'll dress,
Steve
don't do
Buscemi.
that.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I've got more questions for you too.
Oh, okay. Lay it on me.
So
I'm long-winded, so.
Yep. Next one wants to know, what design tools do you use for the magazine?
I just use Photoshop.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure there's an easier way.
No InDesign for you?
No.
Nope.
I keep it real simple. Photoshop and I grew up together. I started on just Photoshop. There were no numbers or anything. So I know it like the back of my hand, and it's quick and efficient. And actually, can I do a shameless plug here real quick?
Absolutely.
If you jump onto my YouTube channel, there are videos there where I actually designed this entire magazine on Twitch. Now the videos are off of Twitch. They stay on there for 2 weeks. And this was a while ago, but you can see the entire design and the thought process that went through each page. And there's my studio.
Cool. I'll post a link in the follow-up email that goes out so that you can find your YouTube
Thank
channel.
you. Yeah, but it's real. For these, I try to keep it really simple because it would be easy to go to spend a lot of time on it, and then it becomes less efficient, and that is not what I want. I want efficient, quick, done.
All right. Next question. Do you sell calendars of your photographs?
I don't. No. Do you want to buy one? I will.
All right. So, Michael, you can reach out if you're interested in a calendar there.
That's right.
Yogi wants to know, hearing that from marketing people that postcards and mailers are things of the past and that the new generation's all about social media marketing. Any thoughts on that?
So absolutely, you have to be on social media. And I've got that up for point number 2, actually. You're skipping the line, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Know where your demographic is and be on those. You don't have to be everywhere because there are so many. Facebook is parents, 30s, 40s, if that's who you're looking for. Instagram, new, younger parents, baby parents. TikTok. You won't find me there. Actually, I'm not going to say that because that's like a jinx. High school seniors, college kids, teenagers. YouTube is one that's kind of basically everybody, but you have to find them on there. So social media is incredibly important for us as marketers. However, there is a lot of white noise in social media. The tangible marketing, when you have those connections through addresses and neighborhoods and past clients, when you have that connection already, that is going to be a lot more efficient than casting the wide net over social media. Social media is vital now. It has to be, because I think there are a lot of businesses that won't be seen as legitimate without a social media presence, but it is not the end all be all. That connection is still made face to face, especially in our industry, because we need people to be comfortable with us.
You got to know the you factor on it.
What's that?
Oh, you have to have the you factor on it. So something that's like, okay,
Yes,
this is a real person. I can connect with them. You understand my goals. Help me achieve them.
absolutely. Yeah, that trust, especially when you get into high dollar clients, which who doesn't want that? Um, when you get into that level of them valuing you, they need to see you and they need to be able to feel heard and seen by you. And the best way to do that is with tangibles, and give them something that they're going to pop up on their refrigerator, and they might not need you right now, but they might know somebody who does. They might need you later, and you might just convince them that they do need you. So definitely have a social media presence. And that's the thing too about social media that I think is overlooked, is it needs to be planned out. It needs to be purposeful and intentional, and have it be part of your marketing plan, and have it be patterned. So when you establish your brand, then you can establish your online identity, and it's going to match your in-person identity. And that builds that foundation of trust and value that you're putting out there with your clients.
So is that point two where we get into the social media aspect of it, or
Yes,
how much did we jump
that was
ahead?
kind. I kind of did it already.
Okay.
we're just
We're
flying
cruising.
by the seat of our pants.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's a very casual conversation, but you've got some really, really solid points coming up.
Nice. Okay, any more questions, or should we keep
We're
trucking?
currently caught up on it, but I'm sure as soon as you bring up something, we'll have a whole roll of them.
Good. I love it. I love that conversation. And that's the thing with marketing too, that is important to remember, is that it's not something that you can just learn and then you're good. You have to continue relearning all the time. So it's less exactly what to do, and it's more understanding that connection and how to reach people, and finding new ways to reach people that you want to reach. My third point is actually, so these points are centered around what can you do for your business right now? January, here's what we can do. And this one is image competition. Chris, are you an image competitor? Are
I'm
you
a
a
junkie
junkie?
at it, yes.
Yay!
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yep.
It is addicting, and it's so much fun. And it is far and away the best way to grow your craft as a photographer and as a photo finisher, as a creator. So use this downtime to create images for competition, and then get knowledgeable feedback on them. And it might sting a little sometimes, but you win or you learn.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I
first
tell
year, I
my.
think you're in tears afterwards. You're like, no, I was so brilliant. My clients love them. And then
Oh
the
man, one
judges
of
get
these
them. You're like,
brave.
ooh, okay. But it helps you grow so much.
It really does. And once you get past that emotional factor, I'm emotional about my images, but you probably wouldn't know that when I'm watching judging anymore, because I've developed a very thick skin. But that is going to enable us to see our work from not only another set of eyes, but from a trained set of eyes. And each competition offers something a little bit different. PPA has done a phenomenal job of taking out the subjectivity of it as much as possible. It's still art, and it's still the impact is going to change depending on how hungry the judges are. Get room to a Snickers. And how just the images that came up right before it. It's going to vary somewhat, but they have done a phenomenal job of making it a pretty even process with the 12, what do they call it? 12 elements of.
Very good. Yes, the 12 elements.
Just the 12 elements.
Just
okay.
the 12 elements. Yep.
Okay. I was just going to add stuff to
Well,
it.
I guess 12
They're
elements
probably like,
of a
no, no,
merit.
no.
I don't know if
There
that's
you
showing
go.
up there. Yay.
Graphics and all.
I had to make a cheat
So
sheet.
that's phenomenal. And I've done competitions like NAPCP, which is the National Association of Professional Child Photographers, and I believe they just call it NAPCP. I don't know, but their competitions are very emotion based, not so much technical. So it's interesting to see the differences in the winning images. I never submit the same thing to NAPCP that I do to PPA. So I feel like if I can nail technical over here and I can nail emotion over here, then I'm going to do something right between the two things. Portrait Masters is a whole different beast. So it's kind of cool to look at the different competitions and find what you want to work towards. So if you want to work towards the technical side, the polished side, and it's not to say there's not emotion in those images, there certainly is, but they won't overlook a big glaring technical issue with an image because it was so emotional. So find a competition that works for you and for your budget and for your goals, and go after it and watch the judging. And even if you don't enter it, watch the judging. I learn more watching other people's images get judged than I do my own even. And one of these days I'll get brave and I will share the first entries, because it used to be, I don't know if they still do this, but PPA used to give free entries your first year as a member.
I do not believe that's true anymore.
Okay, well, I'm probably why, because they were like, oh, we can't let this happen again. That's bad. But you know what? Once I backed up, they're like, you might start with like, they don't get me. They get you just fine, but it might take a beat to realize that. But it's a great way to not only grow your craft, but then you have accolades that you can share with your clients and that they can share with other people and be excited and trust you and see your knowledge and your professionalism. And it's a cool marker to kind of share and brag on yourself a little bit and be excited about your achievements. And then, if you're in the PPA, you can, in the PPA competitions, you can start working towards degrees. Actually, no, you can't. That's different. And I'm not sure I understand all the changes, but,
With
it's still good.
The merit image review, it's now, yes, you can work towards your degrees. It's just
yes, you can work towards your
competitions, and you don't have to enter 4 at a time. So you don't have to have a complete case. It can be single one, and you can work towards your degrees that way.
Okay. Do you have a show on that? I need to watch it.
They'll be announcing a lot more information at Imaging.
Okay. All right. So I'll be there. I'll be ready with my questions. And my questions are going to be, who's going to just break it down? Like, where's the Cliff's Notes? That's what I need. So that's one of the things that I feel like it's not a direct marketing thing, but it rolls into your marketing because it's more that you can share. That can be shared on social media. And even if they don't understand what accolade you're talking about, if you're excited about it and you're explaining it, they're going to understand and they're going to feed off your excitement to be a part of that. It's something exciting to be a part of. And now you can share that with your clients. And building that excitement is exactly what you need, that connection and sharing that moment with your audience.
Plus, it's super cool being able to say, hey, I've got an award-winning photographer, or my photographers won all these awards.
Absolutely.
You're giving your customers
and to be able to
about.
share, look, I'm going to be shameless. I'll just pop that right out there. No, and you can't even see it. I love me a trophy. I'll enter anything that has a trophy. So that's just one of the things where you can just drum up word of mouth, drum up chit chat, drum up chatter, whatever you can do to get people talking about you and keeping your brand in the front of their mind. Another one, and this is despised by many a photographer, if you might consider yourself an introvert, but join a network, join a club, join a network of professionals. Most of these kinds of clubs will allow you to try out a meeting before you commit. So try a few and see what's the best match for you and what you want to do. I feel like my town has an enormous amount of clubs: Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, BNI, Inspire, all of these different. There's arts committees and downtown business committees, and all these things where you're kind of there doing the same thing. So if you want to practice telling people what you do in a succinct and professional way that truly represents you, that's a great place to do it. Bonus point, they're probably going to need a photographer at some point, and you're going to be the one there talking to them, selling yourself, and receiving what they are putting out there too. And some places, I think BNI is the one where they are industry exclusive, so only one business from each industry can be in it. So if you are in there, you're the only photographer. And it's a remarkable way to make connections within the community. And that's mutually beneficial. Everybody wins. And nobody likes to hear that, though, because a lot of people don't want to go meet face to face. We forgot how to do that in 2020, but we're back, baby.
It's scary, but man, it makes such a world of difference when somebody can actually connect with you and have that real world connection. It's something that you can't get from a Facebook page or a website. Like, well, do they have a personality of a wet rag, or are they going to be somebody that gets me, or that I can interact with, or put me at ease, or that understands what I'm trying to put out? Like, yeah,
and
the
most of those
marketing.
places, you don't have to go be up in the front of the room. You probably can be if you want to be, but if you want to go have a quiet conversation with somebody on the side, that's absolutely what you can do. And just practice selling yourself. Practice telling people who you are in a way that truly represents you. And the more you say it, the more natural it becomes a part of your conversation, and it flows better, and it becomes more and more genuine because you're used to saying it. Practice to your cat before you go there. Just keep saying it over and over. And that's just a scenario where everybody wins.
Carolyn's got a great point in the chat, saying that Rotary's been more beneficial to her than BNI because it's service-based. So you're not just there promoting your business, but you're giving back to the community. So it gives you something that you can do, a way to connect that might feel more genuine, especially if you don't like talking about yourself.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And that will still present opportunities to talk about what you do, to hear what other people do, and how you might be able to work together. And then you're also doing things that feel good, and that you're meeting people with like values and connecting in that way. That's a great point. And there are, like there are dozens of clubs, organizations, professional groups.
Just get out there and meet people, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And those are all excuses to do that.
I've had
if you need an excuse.
Great luck doing other things too, like other nonprofits that you might align with, being able to volunteer or serve on a board or serve as a volunteer, or donate your services to something, or just connect with them and say, hey, here's something, we've got a shared vision, let's work on something. It's just a way to get meeting new faces and finding people that you can connect with, work with.
Absolutely. And there are a lot of, and you could do that on a temporary basis too. I've worked with Boys and Girls Club on their gala event for several years. And those people that are attending those high dollar events are the people that I'm looking for as well. So it gives me an opportunity to speak directly to the demographic that I am looking to serve. So it's a wide variety of ways to get out there and just meet people and connect with people and be seen and be memorable. And that's what we want. So my last point, I'm down to my last point. How are we doing? Are we good on time?
We are good on time. Yeah.
Perfect. So just take a look at those top 20, go back to your magazines, to your postcards, and look at those top 20 clients and think of them as like a pebble, and then ripple out from there. Think about their friends and their family and where they live and where they work. And if you look at those 20 clients and they're all different demographics, perfect, because that is a much bigger reach, and you can ripple out from each one individually. And that's a little more time consuming, but it's also more efficient than just throwing business cards into the wind. That's also acceptable. I will take that too. Um, but you are able to look at all the different aspects of their lives and see how you can be where they're going to be. And when you're doing that, consider too trying to find places where their stress levels are low and they're feeling good and happy, and that's what you want to be associated with. So the most important thing with marketing is connection. I'll repeat that till I'm blue in the face over and over and over again, because it takes the mystery out and it's just connecting. And that's not hard. That's not overwhelming. That's just being human. And that's what we do. But plan it, have a marketing plan, execute it, and follow up. And if you do those things, no matter what your marketing plan is, if you do those steps, you will succeed. Absolutely. I'm a firm believer in having it all.
That's a lot of great information. So it's sounding like the main thing is that you need to have some sort of goal, something that you're after, and then making sure that you're pursuing it and working towards achieving that. Not doing
Writing
things.
down those steps, take tangible steps to each milestone, each marker, and make yourself do it. Make it easier on future you. Get it all done, get it on paper, and give yourself something. I love a checklist. Yes, I will add stuff to it that wasn't on there just so I could check it off.
Right.
Check your checklist off. Yeah. Yeah. Got out of bed. Check.
Getting back to your last point, can you give an example of like one of those top 20 clients that you want to connect with? How would you do that, or what would you go about doing to connect with them?
So just start look at their day-to-day lives. So if it's a family, I'm primarily family photographer. So I photograph maternity, newborn, families, seniors, and then extended families and all that good stuff. Like I said, grandmas are my bread and butter. If you can get in the grandma circuit, done. So you start with their day-to-day life. Where do they live? Where do they work? Where do they go to school, or where do the kids go to school? And consider the just region that they live and their day-to-day life in. Consider their pets, where their pets go. There are some demographics that are like crazy over their pets. And I think you had a pet photographer on last week,
that was
right?
our last
Angela?
episode on being a pet whisperer.
Oh, nice. She's amazing. I actually had the first speaking gig I ever did was in Michigan with Angela's group.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It's a small photography world.
It is, but it's a close-knit one.
Yes.
So find
for
the
example,
niche,
as far as I'm sorry, what?
Oh, that was fine. Sorry, I had interrupted you. You said find the niche and figure out what makes them different and how to connect with them.
Yeah, and just figure out ways that you can be there. And I've worked with a lot of different businesses and things over the years you wouldn't necessarily think of. I had a great relationship with a soup place. It was a restaurant that just served soup, but it was in a neighborhood that held many of the characteristics that I want. They had money, and
that's an important.
And I had a great, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. But they allowed me to have some artwork up on the walls and to leave some brochures on the counter, and in turn I shared I would share pictures of their soup, and I'd take pictures for their website, and try to think outside the box of the typical, we all want to be in the 4D ultrasound place, and there are like 90 business cards there. So be there, but be unique too, and be just in the general areas of the places that your ideal client is going to. And you can even consider actually shooting in some of the places. There's one little gated community that I've photographed in, and they did their family pictures in there, and I had to go through their board and get permission and jump through hoops and stuff. But once the neighbors saw that, a few came out and talked to us while we were actually shooting, and then others just saw the pictures, and then of course here comes the magazine. They can all share. Yo, you want a magazine? Absolutely. Here's 5. Share them with your friends. and they were seeing what I could do for them. So just being right there in the right area, they were interested before they even saw the images. Some of the people that came out while I was taking them. That always blows my mind. Don't you want to see what it looks like?
You're like, wow,
But,
you looked like you knew what you were doing.
I guess so. They saw something they liked, so they're just if you Google photographers in your area, it's probably like page after page after page. So if somebody is kind of thinking about it but not that interested, if one just falls in their lap, that's sometimes all people need. Let that be you. I've had people, so my logo, I've had the same logo. There's my bird. Let it settle on the light there. So if I had this bird, nope, wrong one. There, this bird for all 15 years now, almost 16 years I've been in business. So I've had the bird for 15 years and it's very recognizable around town. And I've had multiple people come and say they just couldn't get away from my bird. They kept seeing it places because I just try to be everywhere. And my town is actually pretty small. We're 80,000 people, but 50,000 of those are college students. So you have to kind of weed through the college students to get to the actual townsfolk. But the neighborhoods are important, where they're going out to eat, where they're going to get their vacations planned or going on vacation. You just kind of want to attach yourself to those things that they value and be a part of that.
So it sounds like you're having some sort of profile around that client, and then once you know who that person is, where they're shopping, what they're doing, then you can start coming up with more personalized marketing that's going to connect with them. You get that emotional connection.
Absolutely.
You're everywhere all at once, and you're just like, oh
yes.
yeah, I've seen them over and over and over again.
Yes. And they may not need you right then, but when they realize they need a photographer, you're going to be the one that they think about.
The top of the list.
Yeah, and that's a frustrating thing, I think, for people when they're considering how to market their business, is that it's not necessarily an immediate turnaround. It's usually not an immediate turnaround. That's why I was so excited about those postcards that I talked about earlier, because they had an immediate, tangible, measurable return. And that's pretty rare in photography. But once you have that, then you think that it should all be like that, when really it's laying the foundation and stacking those connections until they're in a place where they're ready to trust you.
That makes perfect sense. So I do have some prizes to give away. So
Yay!
If anybody has any random marketing questions that can be briefly answered for Aly, put them into chat. And while you're typing those, I'm going to give away some prizes and let you know about a special coming up with ACI, so American Color Imaging. If you need to get some of those postcards or magazines, press printed stuff, they've got 30% off for anybody that's watching. Got the code on the screen, and I'll email it to you too. So that's a great way to save some money on your marketing. Also want to let you know about some upcoming shows that we've got. We're doing Northern Lights photography is our next episode. Then Making Your Art Personal coming up mid-February, just after Valentine's Day. And then Old School Hollywood Lighting, which should be pretty fun too as we enter March. So registration is live on all of those ones, so be sure to check it out. And now let's give away some lab credits. So I've got a $50 lab credit to American Color Imaging, and let's see who the winner on that one is. I love the wheel. It spins. It's fun.
Yes. Childhood dreams right there.
And it was Connie.
Yay.
Congratulations, Connie. Let's go with our next prize. We've got a $75 lab credit. So let's see who's winning that one. And we got Angela. Congratulations on that one. And now we got one more. We've got a $100 lab credit. And see who's winning that one. Everybody loves free stuff, right?
Yeah.
I do.
I feel like I should be cheering.
I've got canned applause. It's all good. And we got John.
Oh, good.
So congratulations on that one, John. And just a reminder that if you do have ideas for future episodes, anything like that, reach out to me. Or if you're going to be at imaging, I'm going to be the guy with the bow tie walking around. Please come up and say hi. I love hugs and handshakes and all that fun stuff, and love just chatting. That's kind of a nice way of doing that. So nobody else had any other marketing questions. I think you've
We
covered
answered them all.
They're like, uh-oh, either that or we've got
We
too much.
solved
Or
it.
like, these 5 tips, I've got too much. I got to design a magazine now and start working.
I need a break.
Yeah. So at the beginning, you had mentioned that you do Twitch. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I'm there 3 or 4 times a week right now, and what it is just live editing. I do a ton of composite work. I do exhibition work and competition work on there. And then I also do my day-to-day client work on there, provided they're okay with being online, which is about 50-50. But you see my editing in its entirety through all the murky, gross part of compositing where it doesn't look like it's going to be very good. All the way through completion. I do a lot of competitions, so the follow-up is there too, and I see how I can make those adjustments going forward. And the best part of it is that there is chat, and you can ask questions, and sometimes most of the time we talk about photography, of course, and photography business and marketing and all that fun stuff. And then sometimes we talk about dumb stuff like song lyrics and movies and, just like how Kevin in Home Alone cleaned up the house as well as he did, which was the least realistic part of the movie. So it's just a good time, and it's a cool way to learn and to spend time within the photography community. And I would love to see you there. And you can get a feel for it. You can take a look at my Twitch channel. They keep them on there for a couple of weeks. And then you can also look at my YouTube because I just put it directly on there. So it's uncut Twitch on there. And you can see, like I said, you can go back and see the entire making of that magazine and all that good stuff. But it's a party.
Cool.
And it's free.
Yeah, that's always a plus there. I do have 2 more questions that came in, so maybe we can get a brief thought on that. John wants to know, like, how much is your marketing budget, or how do you come up with a marketing budget? What's appropriate? What's not? What do you do in your business?
My marketing budget it varies through the year, but that's part of my marketing plan. And I'll sit down when I make my marketing plan and I'll do my dream budget. Kind of like when I did that when we were building our house too. I did my dream budget, and then you pluck away until it's a feasible dream. So my tangible and digital marketing budget is identical. So it's 50-50. And it's spread a little bit through the year. The front half of the year will be heavily tangible, and I'll get pretty much 100% of my tangible budget spent in the first 6 months of the year because I'm getting everything printed to send later because I know I'm going to be busy in the second half of the year. Social marketing is spread real evenly throughout the year, but it's all planned, and that's the important part. And that is, I'm trying to think percentage wise what it is of I don't stick real hard to a percent, but it's sizable.
Yeah. I generally try for about 10% of my gross revenue coming in, just putting into an account for marketing. That way I can do mailings, I can do advertisements, I can kind of play around that way. So if that's something that you can get started with, I'm not sure what yours is or what your expenses are, but that's at least where I'm coming from.
Yeah, 10% is a good goal to shoot for. That's probably a good starting point. And I will say I go over that at times when I feel like it's going to be a lucrative return.
We're going the glossy cover this time. No.
That's right. Oh, yeah. You can sanitize that, baby.
Awesome. And then do have a print competition question from David. It says, he noticed that you use a simple mat board with a thin black frame for your prints. Any reason that you go with that to look versus something else?
Yes, because I hate presentation. That's really it. I heavily prefer physical presentation. So if you come to an exhibition of mine, it's going to look real different than digitally. Digitally, I tend to just go with black because
It's
Emily
easy and
V, I
it's
guess.
clean.
Yeah, yeah. And much of what I shoot is very dark and emotional, and that is kind of encompassing that kind of void. I could go real artsy talking about that, but really it's just that that's my weak spot for sure, and I'm not good at presenting. But I am good at presenting physically, but I have never sent physical prints into the PPA competition. I've only done that with actual physical print competitions where there was no other option.
Yeah,
Because I like it to tweak it right till the end.
the physical prints are gone from PPA now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
Digital
never will
only.
then.
Yep.
If I send them one now, they'll be like, "What is she doing?"
Who is this? Well, that's a wrap for tonight. Thank you so very, very much for joining us, Aly.
Oh, thank you. It
A
was a
lot of
blast.
inspiring stuff that we definitely need in this first month and first quarter of our businesses. I think you've given some really, really great actionable items, things that we can do and start implementing or planning for in our business. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yay. Thank you.
All right. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. If you're going to imaging, be sure to say hi. We'll both be there. So come and find us.
Yay.
All right. Good night, everybody.